going on, y'all? The review is here, and I'm back to give y'all this movie review called Antwone Fisher. This is a biographical drama film that was directed by Denzel Washington, and it also stars Denzel Washington. Now, I remember this movie came out a long time ago, like I said, in 2002. This was shortly before I went to the military. All right. Now, I didn't really watch it around that time because I didn't really thought of the military in that way. But when I got in the military, they was playing this movie a lot. And I was like, you know what? Let me peep it out. All right. So it stars Derek Luke as Antwone Fisher. And he also knows the real Antwone Fisher. And then you have Denzel Washington as Dr. Davenport. You have Joy Bryant as Cheryl Smalley, Sally Richardson as Bertha, who is the doctor's wife. Then you have D'Angelo Wilson, may he rest in peace, as Jesse, who is Antwone's friend. Then you have Sung Kang, y'all remember him from Fast and Furious, Viola Davis, Jennifer Lewis, Novella Nelson, as she rests in peace. She is Miss Tate on this movie. And then Leonard Howes as Pork Chop. Yes, that's his name in the movie. And this is the Blu-ray right here. Now I'm going to start off with this. Hope y'all can see that right there. So let me start off with the beginning. It starts off with Antwone Fisher. You know, he's a little child at the time, and he's being introduced to his family and things of that nature. It's like a really nice scene, and then all of a sudden he got woken by a gunshot. That's when Derek Luke character, who's Antwone Fisher, he woke up from his bunk when he's in the Navy. All right, so he woke up, got up, getting ready to use the restroom to freshen up for the morning, and I forgot the white guy's name. I think his name is Burke. I think that's his name. So they just having a low fun, Burke and Pork Chop. They just interacting with each other at the shower area, and they just having fun. Burke goes up to Antwone, and he said, "What's cracking, Fisher?" Fisher says, "Your head if you don't get away from me," right? And then Burke look at him like, "Hey, what's that on your face?" And then Fisher just winds up punching the crap out of him. Just about to choke him, saying, "You always talking crap, man." Blah blah blah. And then they got in the fight. So after that scene, that's when Antwone Fisher was called, the court martial. He got punished. He's on restriction. They took his pay away. He got demoted, the whole 9 yards. So now after that, Antwone has to go see Dr. Davenport, who is Denzel Washington's character. Antwone plays hard to get, like he don't want to talk about any issues, what's going on, in this situation. He don't want to talk to him. So the doctor said, "Okay, well, hey, meet me next week." Right? But Antwone said, "Hey, I ain't coming back, whatever." So next week passed. That's when they escorted him. They forced him to go to the doctor or whatever. And then some things happened, and then that's when Antwone broke up and said, "You know what? I'll talk to you, if it takes me to get out of the situation." Right? So now they start talking about some issues that Antwone was going with in his life. And it's some sad situations that happen that we don't know about, you know what I'm saying? So he's revealing it to the doctor. So after he reviews some of the stuff, the Davenport pretty much tells him he only got 3 sessions, and that's it. So Antwone is like, that's not enough for me. So he felt really hurt about it, and so he's just trying to keep to himself. And then the guy, what's the guy name? Grayson on there? I don't know his real name, but his name is Grayson on the movie. He tried to pick on Antwone Fisher about a book. And then that's when Antwone started, raging at him, going after him. And they tried to send Antwone to the doctor again. And that's when he really went off on all of them, like this. He went off on them. So the doctor decided to try to help him out with his problems and issues. And I'll stop there. So that's all the stuff that I'm going to say about this movie, because I don't want to reveal too much about it. I really thought this was a really good film. It starts off a little slow at first, you know, with the situation that happened. But then once Antwone Fisher started explaining the situations that was going on in his life, that's when it starts getting a lot more interesting, and it's kind of sad at the same time of all the things that he went through as a child. One of the scenes that really got me was the situation with Mrs. Tate and him had that interaction with each other. I think at that time Antwone was like a teenager. She started just abusing him with words, and when she started to do some things, he rejected her and said, no more. I'm done with this. I love that scene because it kind of reminds me of myself when I was in a situation like that. Not with my mom, but it was another relative that used to pick on me. And I said to myself, you know, I'm not dealing with this anymore. I'm going to stand up for myself, and that's that. And the moment I did, that's when he stopped picking on me. That's when he realized, okay, I'm gonna leave this guy alone. So it kind of reminds me of myself when I was in that situation. And then another scene of mine that I liked was with his friend Jesse. For those that watched the movie knew what happened. It's kind of sad because Antwone didn't know what was going to happen or what he was getting himself into. He didn't know. And then another scene, and this is probably my favorite scene, is when he finally went back to the Tates and he told his foster mom off, like, and the daughter too. Like, he went off on them because they was trying to like tell him what to do, and he said, no, you're not going to tell me what to do. I'm going to tell you what to do. You know, basically that's what he did. And I love that scene because he shows them that he's in control of his life, not them. But this is a very, I say to myself, this is a very underrated movie. A lot of people, unfortunately, haven't heard of this film. And I would highly recommend that y'all check this out, because, and I'll give y'all a little hint on the movie. Let's just say we've always seen, and that's all I'm going to say about that. But I think this was probably one of Denzel Washington's first directing role, because I don't think he'd done too much directing in too much movies. So much praises to him for that. But I really think this is a movie for those, especially for those that's in the military. They can probably relate to this. You know what I mean? And the reason why they joined the military was because there was really no other option out there for them to proceed, you know, at least from their perspective. With that being said, I recommend for those that watch this movie, and you can see it at the bottom, it says this is a film that can change people's lives, and I truly believe that. I think this is a movie that, for those that's feeling down and out and sad with their life, I think this movie right here can definitely change the way of how life is. You know what I'm saying? Even though I'm doing okay for myself, I still sense that anything can happen. Don't think for 1 second that if you're doing good financially or even spiritually, anything can happen at that given moment that you can be let down, but you can't let that get to you. If a situation like that happens, just understand there's something that's better for you in the future. Check this movie out when you get a chance. I think you can watch it on the streams. I'm not too sure, but if you can't, the Blu-ray is always available. I don't think it costs that much. Shout out to Denzel Washington. Shout out to Derek Luke. Shout out to all the people that was involved, you know, the actors, the actresses, and most importantly, Antwone Fisher. Shout out to him for coming out with a really good movie. And that's it. Much love to the real folks. And I'll be on here back with another review. All right. Peace out, guys.